Hi guys, it's Jessica here. I have a few quick little dolly updates for you, and then I'm going to do a tag. It's the Why Am I Still in the BJD hobby tag, and I believe this was by Kohaku Creations. I will leave a link to her video and the original questions below. I wanted to make a little video. I don't know if you can hear the rain. It's not very late. Gosh, yeah, it's only 3 in the afternoon, but it's just so dark and rainy. It definitely feels like fall. I got home pretty early today, thank goodness, but it feels very late. Herla here is really looking very fall to me, very witchy. I want to make her a witch hat. I have kind of an idea in my mind about what I want it to look like, but I'm going to have to figure out how to make the materials that I have work and do that. So I have some ideas. I'm going to work on that. Definitely my goal is to at least have it done before Halloween, if not sooner. But in other news, this girl, after I finish this video, I'm actually going to pack up her face. She is going to go get a face up. Fitzwig is going to give her a face up for me. I still have her sleeping faceplate, so she'll be wearing that for now because I would not be able to just send her away entirely. I love this doll too much for that. So she'll still be here with her sleeping faceplate. So the other thing that came in today, it actually came in yesterday, I just didn't know that it had, was my eye order from Lemon Jelly Eye Shop. And I had ordered from him before. He makes custom resin eyes, and I have gotten several orders in the past. He'll make small iris eyes, he'll make all kinds. And you guys, I mean, I have to say, I mean, the eyes were nice before, but he has really started to refine his technique. These eyes are just extraordinary. So here's Alyssa, and she is wearing a pair of, these were Pennywise inspired eyes, and he had them on his Instagram, and had made several pairs, and you can still order a pair too if you want for yourself. And can you see that? The lighting is not the best. I'll try to insert a picture here too that I took, but I am so happy with them, and they're just perfect for Alyssa. They're just perfect. Super happy with them. Just gorgeous. And then I got these pair, which they did have some goo on them. I took them, I had them trying them on in some different dolls. Let's see, where's the camera? The camera's over here. I think it's trying to focus on me. They're really pretty. And look at the backs. Oh my goodness. So I don't think that this is like normal with every pair of eyes that he does. I don't know if it's for an additional fee or how he's working that right now, but he has this pair. He did this really pretty, like, smooth sparkly resin back, which I've been seeing this, you know, I've been seeing some eyes like this, and I was like, well, it's cool. I mean, it looks neat, but you're not going to see it. But I love it. I love it. It's so cool. It is so awesome. So like, I'm not sure exactly how he's working that. Normally the eyes are pretty raw in the back. You know, not that they, you know, have big prongs or things hanging off them, but they're pretty, like, I guess I would just call them pretty raw, like if you just pull them out of the mold, and that's fine. His eyes are very economical. They're very economical, and I know that these materials aren't, you know, they're spendy, and especially you have things that go wrong, and so you can go through a lot of product easily. Not every single pair turns out perfect. So for the price, I never was bothered by the fact that the backs were a little unfinished and or whatever, like doll bakery eyes, they're like, $55 a pair, and they are perfectly smooth, and what you're paying for that, you're paying a lot. So these are literally, I think they were $8. They weren't over $10. I think that they were $8. So yeah, and I don't think that normally the backs, like, I don't think that that's what he's starting to do standard. And I understand that because it would increase the expense, but I don't know, I might go for that. If it's a couple dollars more or something, can you add the sparkly backs? Because these are gorgeous. I'm just so happy with how these look in her. I said I'll insert a picture there so you can see. I'm so happy. I love how they've brought her face to life. She's so pretty. I lost my screen here. The other thing that I got in was my Respect Artist Labor patch. And I really wanted to get one of these. I think at the time, I'm not sure if it's still going on, all the profits were going to Hurricane Harvey. So I'm not sure if that's still the fact, but you can still order this on her website. She's an artist that I have been following for several years. She makes these kind of macabre horoscope zines, and she made some different, like, I think that they were maybe on some t-shirts, some stuff. She's done some different marketing, but I do know that she has a Kickstarter that she's just starting for a new tarot deck that she's got. So really like this artist's work. So I wanted to support her and Hurricane Harvey victims, and then this was just really, I think, very timely for me. Respecting the work of any profession, really, is, if you can't do something yourself, literally you cannot do that skill or whatever it is yourself, whether that be a mechanic or a doctor or an artist, somebody who writes books. Respect their profession and respect their work and the time and education that goes into that. So anyways, there's been some things in my own job lately where it's like, respect the work and time and energy that people get into gaining their skills. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start Kohaku's Kohaku Creations BJD tag. It's why am I still in the BJD hobby tag? And the question, why am I still in the hobby? And just that right there is, I guess for me, where I am and in the hobby, I asked the question, well, why wouldn't I be? Why wouldn't I be in the hobby? And it does kind of make me kind of sad to think that there's people in the hobby who question why they are, or have to answer this question to themselves, that why am I still here? I guess I just haven't been there. There's been times where I'm more less involved with like social media things, or more kind of go off and do my own thing, not because I'm like mad at anybody or something, but just because that's kind of my personality. And I think that's really the nice thing about these dolls, is that you can be as active or inactive as you want with either them or with the social media aspect. It's just whatever is giving you joy and happiness at the time. And that's what it's about, you guys. It's about what is bringing you joy and happiness. And I would hope in a lot of ways that you aren't too reliant on somebody else's attention to have joy or happiness, because then you never will. This is my words of advice, is if you are really reliant upon somebody else to be giving you joy and happiness and not generating that on your own. I mean, we all need people, we all need each other, but if you have to have somebody to do those things for you, then you're gonna have problems. You're gonna have some problems. But it does make me sad to hear that there are people who think about not being in the hobby or giving up their dolls because of things that people have done to them or said to them. That's really sad. That's really sad to me. I would hope that that kind of thing would happen less. But I'll go ahead. The first question is, what made you want to join the hobby, I am assuming, and do you still feel that way? Well, I joined into the hobby because I was kind of dragged in by my friend Miss Mantis, and I have told this story before, so I'll try not to dwell on it too much, but she started collecting these dolls and getting into them and sharing pictures with me, which then led me to do my own explorations, and that was early in 2014. And I was just looking at this. I hadn't realized that I had been a member of Den of Angels for such a long time. It was June or July 2014 was when I was actually accepted into Den of Angels. And I think it maybe took a few weeks or a month, maybe as much as a month before I got in. I can't remember what the circumstances was. But my first doll was September, was the Lutz Leo full set doll. And then I got my my Doll Chateau Christina, who is Danu. This is my second Doll Chateau Christina. That's how much I love this sculpt. But she was, in a lot of ways, I think of her as my first doll, because she was, if she was the first doll that I could have had, she would have been it. That it was, at the time, it was like a 6 or 7 month long wait length if you're getting it directly from Doll Chateau, and I was too new to really to navigate the secondhand market just yet. At the time that I ordered my Lutz, you know, it would have been like back in June, July when I ordered her, because she, you know, it was a good solid 3 months, three and a half months before she came home. So at that point, it was, I'm not even kidding, that I went to the website and I could figure it out. The website, Doll Chateau website, was very difficult to understand, and I knew that it was going to be like a 6, 7, 8 month wait, because I think my friend, she had ordered a doll earlier. I know she didn't get her doll until late in the fall, and she'd ordered it at the beginning of the year, and that was the first doll that she ordered, and she'd had other dolls she bought secondhand, dolls from the secondhand market and that sort of thing, because it took so long. Yeah, I think Doll Chateau is more like 6, 7 months now, but it was almost 9, 10, 11. It was terrible. It was bad. So Doll Chateau Christina was the doll that, if I could have, that I would have ordered her first. So I think of her. I went off on a tangent. I'm sorry, guys. That's how this video is going to go. We can tell. So that's why I joined the hobby. And so do you still feel the same way? Or do you still feel that way? I'm not sure what made you want to join the hobby. Well, I liked the hobby because the dolls were beautiful and they were vehicles for my characters that I had, and I really liked this idea of making them into these doll forms and customizing them. So I guess the answer to that is yes. What are some good experiences that you've had? I have had so many wonderful, wonderful experiences. The dolls themselves, the companies that I've dealt with, a good portion of the dolls that I have are secondhand, and those have by and large been wonderful experiences. I've been so lucky that way. I have had problems with selling. I've had some things happen there that weren't the most fantastic, but by and large, this has just been a very positive experience. The people that I've dealt with have been overall 99% positive. So yeah, I've had many good experiences in this hobby. Yeah. Are there pages and people that you admire? Oh, most definitely. I think when I first started in the hobby, I was primarily on Tumblr and Flickr. Those were, and I wasn't early on in the hobby. I was not very, I guess I was not very active in, I didn't take pictures of my dolls and share them a lot. I wasn't very active on any forums. I was very, I don't know, I just kind of kept to myself with them, I guess, except for with my friend Miss Mantis. And then I would look at doll pictures on Flickr and Tumblr. And Tumblr is not a very good medium for like communicating with people. I never have found that it to be that very, you know, that you can comment back and forth on a picture. You have to reblog it, and I don't know. Tumblr's weird. And then with Flickr, I would comment and I would go around in there, but I was not, and still I'm not, good at photography, so I didn't really feel, I don't know, I just didn't really want to post up my dolls because I didn't feel very confident that way as far as sharing them yet. I mean, and also what I would say is that early on, and during that time, I was very, very sick. I was very sick during that time, and so I was pretty much working and just dealing with that, and I didn't have a lot of extra time or energy to be doing other things. I did enjoy the dolls. I pretty much just bought most things for them. I wasn't making or sewing things at that point. It was probably midsummer is when I started to really start looking at more, midsummer 2015. And I know I bought a doll from a blue lily cat ombre from A Poem with No Words, and I can't even remember at this point where I saw that she was even for sale, if it was on Tumblr. I know I had joined Facebook buying and selling groups because that's how I had gotten several of my dolls, including Danu, my doll Chateau Christina. So I'm not sure where, but she was very wonderful to deal with, and somehow I got more active on Instagram because of her. Started looking at Instagram, a lot of things there, and that all kind of led me to YouTube somehow. I was trying to think how that all happened, and I can't quite remember how it went about, but I know I was more active on Instagram, and I think a lot of the people that I started following on Instagram would post about that they posted a doll video on YouTube, and I was like, oh, you know, I really like this person's content on Instagram, and so I would go and started tracking them down on YouTube and watching their YouTube videos, and I really, really, really started to enjoy that that media and that format for listening to other people talk about their dolls. And I think, you know, some of the earlier people that I was watching and about that time were Denali Wind, Gina Isardi, Shelby, Libacious One. I think when I started making my first videos, like Octoberish, something like that, these were the people that were really like supportive and welcoming of me when I had the courage to make a doll video. So yeah, I think that's, I'm trying to remember like how it kind of went along. You know, Instagram came first, and that kind of led me through to YouTube. And I think it's one of the questions here coming up is like, what are your social media choice? And YouTube and Instagram are probably my number one favorite doll social media places to be. Yeah, so are there pages and people you admire? I think I kind of mentioned some people. Um, did you make friends? Who were your first friends? Kind of went through and mentioned some people there. And there's been many, many, many more. Anybody that I've ever sent a doll to paint, are to some degree are people that I like, that I stay in touch with and consider them friends. I'm sending Herla off to Fitzwig, who he's painted lots of my dolls by this point. And then of course Miss Mantis, who was the one who originally got me into this hobby to begin with, and she dyed Alyssa and painted her, and she's painted some other dolls too. Bring this back up here. What social media do you prefer was number 5, and again the Instagram and YouTube. Those are my favorite doll places to go to. They're my go-to. Like I always, that's where I go. Do you make or trade? Do I make or trade? Do I do trades? I make I make things. I haven't done too many trades, and I just comes down to energy and time, and I would like to do those sorts of things, but like I'm just I've done a few, but I'm too worried that I will not be able to follow through because of getting sick and things. So I try to kind of avoid those, unfortunately. I'm always a little bit jealous of people that are doing those because it looks so fun, but I can't trust that I'll be able to follow through with my half of it, and I would feel really horrible. So what are you about? Photo stories, photography, crafting, creating? Not photography. Not photography. I admire other people's photography. I think if I had a better camera, that might help a little bit, but I'm kind of lazy when it comes to actually taking pictures. I just use my cell phone. I care more about sewing. That's probably the thing that I enjoy the most. I've been making these flower crowns, and I've been making those for a couple of years. I've just got into another a second wind with making those, so that's been fun. But I like making and crafting more than I do so much taking pictures. But that's, yeah, so I would definitely say sewing is what I'm about more than anything in the hobby. Do you do more than BJDs? Like Monster High, Barbie, newborns, etc. I have some Blythes, and I did some Blythe customization, and I really like that. I would like to do more of it. It's just hours in the day and time to do it, but I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed Blythe customization a lot. I thought that was a lot of fun. I've never really been much of a Barbie person, I've never owned a Monster High or was it Ever After High, or what? I'm not sure what they call those. The Reborns, I do look at them every once in a while. It'll kind of catch my interest, but I've never been like a baby doll person to begin with. Like I can appreciate the craftsmanship, but like dolls, baby dolls always creeped me out as a child. And I think if there was a really lifelike doll in the room with me, like lifelike baby doll, I just don't think I think it would bother me. To be truthful, I think it was, because I can appreciate it, but it's just something that that's like, I didn't like baby dolls at all. I was very afraid of them when I was a little girl. So they were always trying to give me one, and I'm like, no, they're scary. I like stuffed animals and like foxes and unicorns and stuff. So, what has been your overall experience? It's been very positive, and I've kind of been saying that. What would you like to change, and have you taken any steps to make that change? I think, you know, when I first got into the hobby, I was very, a lot more, reclusive about it. And as I kind of started to explore some different social media like Instagram and YouTube, I got more excited about sharing my dolls and sharing my stories and sharing what I was doing, and it was because of the people that I was meeting there. You know, that was a really positive change for me as far as it went with dolls and being in the hobby. And not to say that I don't think I could survive without those things, and not be interested in my dolls. I am really happy for it. This community is really fun and really nice. And there's always somebody there to say something positive to you, and for you to share those things with, and that it's going to be genuinely happy and excited to see you. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. You know, this community can be really awesome. It can be really good. I don't know if that answers the question, but I'm 27 minutes in, so I think I'm going to wrap it up. Time to make some dinner. I hope you guys are having a great week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.